This video was brought to you by YugiohMint.com. Check out their selection of over 20,000 cards and prices better than TCG Player.
Alright, what is up YouTube? MCool40 here with
this guy.
The Claw. We're going to be deck profiling one of the 3 Gears of Fate decks that came out, besides Demiurgos, but we'll talk about this another day. You guys should definitely check out our partners in crime, YugiohMint.com, Forever After Collectibles. They're extremely good. We saw them last week at BWC vending. Lots of nice SPs in their case. They had amazing Weiss sealed product. So you guys should definitely check them out. You guys want some cool singles over in their shop from Yugioh to Vanguard. Definitely check them out. So, as I said, we're going to be profiling Tigrar, the deck. This deck is more based off of an OCG concept that we saw. It is a Time Leap variant. We were testing something similar to what Mason was playing. Didn't really like it, not gonna lie. Mason, you do you, buddy. But let's go into this. You can cut Tigrar if you want a third TikTok right now, because the OCG gets to abuse, or TCG gets to abuse this. But one Tigger. Well, Austin, you're the expert here. Explain Tigrar to us.
I use Tigger, and I've been back and forth between another TikTok and this, which we may test another TikTok. But right now I'm using this just because there's so much back row removal right now. And it's like every time you turn around, I mean, they're going to retire your TikTok at any chance they get. So playing this is, if they retire this, you laugh at them and just go with it. His skill's pretty decent. I mean, if there's a troublesome card that you really need to get rid of with the Chronofang, you can always counterblast one and put this in the soul, and then whatever card you bind with Chronofang, you get to bring it out and give it plus 4K. So I mean, it has its purpose, but it's hardly ever used. It's basically just your booster.
And then 2 of our good friend TikToks. Overextending the combo is very good, and also this card builds soul, which is something that this deck definitely really likes. Alright, so those are our important grade zeros. We'll talk about triggers here shortly. The heart and soul of the deck for Chronofang Tiger. Now, for those of you that don't know, is on play skill. Bind a card from your hand face up. You choose one of your opponent's rearguards and they put it on the bottom of the deck?
Yes, I believe you choose. Let's double check to make sure.
You choose.
Yeah. You choose one of your opponent's vanguards or rear guards and you put it on the bottom of the deck. So basically it's Chrono Jet, except it's a ride skill.
And gives you an additional load. You can put Nani over there if you really need it. Also, his Gen Break 2 is very easy to trigger with first turn Stride Warp Drive. Being able to Time Leap or Water into Malim is pretty ridiculous, even for your regular deck. So, 4 Chronofang Tiger. 2 Chronofang Tiger G. It's another Chronofang named card. Also gives you the ability to answer an opponent's monster if you need to. Also loads up more of the...
No, it's a Soul Blast. And Bind Zone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It loads up the Bind Zone, which is extremely important. And the fact that it's a Soul Blast for its ability is pretty good. And then 1 Square 1 Dragon, much like the Chrono Jet deck. Having this to extend your overall combo is good. Also, if he's still on the field at the end, you can Soul Charge to do your thing. I mean, you can bring it out just as a 3 and then Soul Charge additionally if you need it. But that's it for the 3s. Not a super lot going on here. You just understand that pretty much everything revolves around Tiger. Tiger. Alright. Grade 2s.
Funds.
Much like the Chronofang deck, or Chrono Jet.
Chrono Jet deck.
Maxed out on History Makers. This card's ridiculous, being able to Time Leap Malim. Brings in water to get additional cards. One of the cool things that this deck really does is its hand size is extremely large, giving it a lot more power behind the combos and the things like that, giving the deck just in general more power.
And you have to understand too, in this deck you're not Counterblast heavy, you're actually Soul Blast heavy, so this is basically your main Counterblast card that you use other than your Warp Drive, and that's it, and Bind Time.
3 upstream. Once again, we are relying on the time leap engine. 3 is fine. You can easily bait 1 early game to force the opponent to attack into it. Also, very early aggro can be important in quite a few of your matchups. And then last but not least, Nani. Man, I love saying this guy's
I
name.
do too, Nani.
So Chronofang Tiger gets 1,000 for each card in the bind zone. And then bind zone, you can Soul Blast 1 at the end of the battle that your grade 4 Chronofang attacked. So you get to just get 5 attacks for no reason, depending on how many of these you have going, which is extremely nice. And pretty much getting it to the bind zone is relatively easy, right?
Yeah, he's your Chronofang target when
can't-
you're on GB2. That's what you want to bind.
I can't tell you how many times this card has punched me in the face.
Punt.
Yep. Alright, grade 1s. Alright, so for Maleems, why are you playing 4 and not 3?
OCG's playing 3, but since we do have an extra TikTok, and Maleem is pretty much your go-to card to grab your zeros, not only does this grab your Urwater, but we also have a new trigger in the deck that we like to pull out, which is the crit trigger, because the crit trigger is really, really good. So, I mean, you will need to max these and make sure that you're pulling all the zeros that you need, like, for whatever purpose. I mean, this with Rebellion into your crit trigger, and then you bind your crit trigger with the Rebellion is just ridiculous. So, it's really good with TikTok, too. The best.
TikTok everything.
Yep.
For Arlem, once again, we said that the deck's not super damage heavy, but in some cases that we actually saw recently when testing, if you're locked to just 2 damage and you've kind of blasted yourself out, being able to unflip one of those while maintaining the game state definitely helps you. So keep that in mind. We still are playing this. We don't do enough time leaping to warrant playing the one that when it's time leapt into, discard a card to add it to your hand.
I have thought about it.
And there's also the quintet wall that you can bind and do things with. So it's just kind of play your preference right now, but so far these are working out. Currently 3 stride fodders. We took a page out of the Chronojet book. 3 stride fodders. I mean, you just want to make sure that before you're on Gen Break 2, you can kind of go along and do your thing. Also, on the messed up chance that you're stuck on Chronofang Tiger G,
Those work.
Yeah, this helps. 1 Tick Away Dragon. Tell me how great this card is.
This card's really freaking good. We have a lot of controversy between friends and everything about this card not being good. But the one thing that you have to remember is you play upstream, and that upstream goes into this. It's your free one that you get. And it's just really good to have, because when you go into Warp Drive your second time and you time leap 3 units, you're putting 3 cards from your bind or your drop zone back into your deck. And everything stacks on each other, so basically you Urwater once, and then you take away 3 cards, and then you Urwater the second time. That way you don't draw any of the cards you put back, which are probably going to be triggers. And that is what I got out of the OCG book. Thank you, OCG.
And then last but not least is GG. This card, I know some of you are going to be like, why are you playing this? On the chance that you get your TikToks in the soul, being able to blast out 2 to draw a card is very good. You also have access to this pretty much at any time in the game with upstream. So keep that in mind. Obviously, you're not going to go into this when you've only got 2 cards in your soul, but it could be seen as a win more card, but it definitely helps the later that the game progresses.
Also, you need to realize that you are putting your crit triggers into your soul, and if you can't get those out fast enough for Tick Away to put them back, then basically you're not having crit triggers. So you have to remember that that also helps you get cards you need out of your soul into your drop zone so you can take away them back.
So currently for Urwater, I know once we get further into the triggers, 3 of these could function well, but still stands work out. He is playing 4 of the draw. He mainly likes this for the ability to make sure that his hand size increases. Playing less crits, though, can be a problem. One of the things, depending on, I mean, you can very easily wipe this out for more crits.
So you can easily wipe 2 draws out for more crits at any point. You have to also realize that the draws too, I mean, in the off chance that for some odd reason you burned your soul and you need it because you just needed to burn it, you at least have access to a soul for Rebellion, and that's your basic win card, other than buying time.
So there's that. 4 heals. And 4 of the broken critical. when it's bound, this thing goes into your soul, you draw a card, plus 5,000 to the Vanguard.
Yep, it's when it's on rearguard and it's bound, it's just really good. It's basically one of those cards that is almost better than the crits that just go in when they're on the board.
I loved watching you time leap this against me with...
TikTok?
No, with Warp Drive.
Oh, yeah, and Warp Drive.
Alright, extra deck.
Oh, also, there is a card we're missing from OCG. It is a promo that would take place of one of the grade 1s that allows you to just soul charge when it's time loop. That is one card that we're still waiting on, so just FYI, folks.
Alright, grade 1s, Warp Drive, your Gen Break 2 enabler. Who doesn't love being able to stride into their best cards for free? Also, the second time you need this for your stride to just produce larger creatures. Extremely good. Bind time. We're gonna have a discussion about this card. I've never seen you make this card.
I have not made this card one time in this deck.
So
yet.
for those of you at home that don't know what Bind time does, Counterblast 2, choose a face. And Soul Blast.
Yeah, another Soul
Choose
Blast.
a face down card named Bind time. Turning it face up. This unit attacks may pay its cost if you do. Choose one or more of your rear guards. Bind them face up, and this unit gets plus 10,000 power and a critical until the end of the turn. And for each card in your bind zone, your opponent chooses one of his or her rear guards and puts them on the bottom of his or her deck. And then if you have a Gear Beast Heart card, counter charge 2 and soul charge 2. Really, really powerful card. It's there if you need it. I can't really rag on it for anything else past that. One Fate Rider. I've seen you do pseudo time leap with this.
It's just there.
It's an additional.
Yep.
Alright. And then the Heat de Resistance, Rebellerino.
Yeah.
Alright, so what does Rebellion do?
Rebellion. So basically, he comes out, GB2, and you Soul Blast 1, you choose a card on your rearguard circle, you bind it, you choose a card from your hand, bind it. Then the card decides it needs an extra critical, and it also gets an extra drive check. So it becomes 4 drive checks plus an extra critical.
And it gets 5,000 power for every
Card in the bind zone.
Every 2 cards.
Yes, so for every 2 cards in your bind zone, you get 5,000 power. Typically, the play you want to do is with the crit trigger, so you're automatically 31, and then you get to draw a card, and then you get to do your quadruple drive. So you're essentially getting 5 cards off the stupid thing already. So it's a really good card, and you even with time or warp drive, you already have the chance to go into that for your second stride if you don't need the extra hand advantage from warp drive. So
good.
Yeah.
1 Sabreeze. Once again, don't super counterblast, so there's that. G Guardians, 1 Rafana, and 3 Uru. Keep in mind, Header Hound is a Chrono Jet
only.
Chrono Jet only. So no fun allowed there. But still, nonetheless, the powerhouse behind this deck is Rebellion. Being able to just generate mass power and large columns is one of the things this deck does, especially with Nani getting 5 attacks off in a turn. Not even to talk about if you've already got Time Leap happening in the front. So guys, please check out YugiohMint.com for all of your guys' trading card game needs. It would be greatly appreciated. I'll leave a link to them down below. And peace out, guys. Later.